Our theme for this month is celebration time. And every time I say that, I think about that song, Celebration Time. I'm not going to sing it for you, but I think of it. It's celebration time. And this is a time of year that we celebrate the birth of the man Jesus, as I said last week, and the birth really of the Christ consciousness is what we are all celebrating, that Christ consciousness that Jesus brought into this world. And so that's what we're celebrating, and that's what I'm excited about. And just knowing that the Christ consciousness is a consciousness of unconditional love, and that's the love that has to come off the page into the hearts, and that unconditional love. And so that's what I'm talking about today. That's what I'm talking about next week. That's what I'm talking about all the time, just unconditional love, because I'm encouraging each of us to really develop that consciousness of unconditional love and that awareness of unconditional love. And my topic today, with deliberate intent, is what I'm encouraging us all to do is to really practice unconditional love, to set our deliberate intent, to practice, to live unconditional love, to be unconditional love. And just thinking about intent, I think that word always reminds me of being a prosecutor, thinking about intent, but that's not what we're doing today. We're talking about just setting our purpose, setting our design, setting our plan for being unconditional love, setting our plan for moving forward. As we come into this time of the year, as you know, we only have a couple of weeks left to this year, believe it or not. 2021 is gone. And just looking back over the year and the things that we had planned for the year, the things we wanted to have accomplished for the year, the things that we, had hoped for this year, all those things, just looking back, have we accomplished those things? What was your intention for this year? What was your intent at the very beginning of the year? You know, the beginning of the year, we oftentimes set resolutions, New Year's resolutions. I gave that up many, many years ago. But some people still do that. Now we call them different things. We can call it intentions for the year or intent, but whatever the case may be, I'm encouraging you this year to just really do a life review right now. Do a life review. What did you decide that you wanted for this year? What did you want to do in 2021? What did you want to accomplish? What did you want to change? What did you want to release and let go? And where are you with that right now? This is a time for reviewing this past year before we move into the next year, before we start to set our intent for the year going forward. Just looking at where we've been so we can see where we are, so that we can see where we're going. And knowing that intent really is a cause. When we think about the law of cause and effect, intent sets a cause in motion. Our intent sets a cause in motion. Whatever our plan is, whatever our desire is, whatever our purpose is, sets a cause in motion. And then we begin to experience the effects of that cause that we've set in motion. So I want you to really get clear about what is your intent for this year moving forward. What would you like to experience in your life moving forward? How would you like to see things be different? Or would you like for things to remain the same? Of course, they're not going to, but would you like for them to? Sometimes we just, we want things to be the same, so we just hold on, and we don't realize, we don't recognize, we don't really, we aren't aware that the winds of change blow continuously through our lives. The winds of change blow continuously through our lives, so nothing remains the same. Nothing remains the same. Everything is always changing. So the question for us is that I want us to really be clear about as we move forward into this new year. And the question that I want you to live in is, what do I really want? What do I really want? What do I really want? That's the most important question that we can ask. And that's the question I ask you to live in. What do I really want? What do I really want? And one of the things that we celebrate with this Christ consciousness is the teachings that we have here at Creative Living Fellowship, the teachings that we have in religious science, the tools that we have, the practices that we have. If we want, the things that we want can be accomplished, can be attained through these principles and through these practices. And so, are we willing to use those? Are we availing ourselves of the tools that we have? Are we availing ourselves of things that are available to us? Are we availing ourselves of those things? Are we practicing those things? Are we just complaining about what we don't have? That's a lot of people spend a lot of time doing that too, complaining about how terrible things are, complaining about things they don't have, complaining about the way things used to be and how they've changed, or how we wish things could be. But we have the opportunity and we have the power to change things. We have the power to have a different kind of life. And so my question is, what do you really want? Because once you determine what you really want, then that determines what action you will take. Once you're clear about what you really want, then we begin to look at what really matters. What really matters? What do I really want? Then we start to look at, where am I looking for it? Where am I looking for what it is I really want? Am I living my life the way that is consistent with what I say I really want? What am I doing? What am I thinking? What am I saying? If I want unconditional love in my life, am I practicing unconditional love? Am I being unconditional love? If I want a really great relationship, are my actions consistent with the relationship that I'd like to have? What am I doing each and every moment? What am I thinking? How am I acting? What is my behavior like? If it's perfect health that I want, are my actions consistent with that? Am I living my life in a way that is conducive to perfect health? If it's friendship that I want, if I want more friends in my life, am I being a friend? Am I being a good friend? So whatever it is we say that we really want, if I want to have a successful life, am I doing those things that would lead to a successful life? So these are the questions that we have to live in all the time. What do I really want brings us to the other questions of, what am I doing to allow these things to become a part of my experience? And setting our intent to really, our deliberate intent to really be a place and space for the revelation of these things that we said that we really want in our lives. And so that's what I'm asking you to do right here and right now, to really do a life review, do a review of this past year. What was it that you wanted? What quality did you decide that you were going to allow to reveal itself in and through and as your life this past year? Has that happened? How has that shown up? How has that quality shown up for you this year? Have you gotten started on it even? Still got 2 weeks. You can get started any minute. You can get started on it any minute. I mean, everything can happen in an instant. We can always start off in every moment. We can start anew. So even if you didn't start 11 months ago and 11 months and 2 weeks ago, you can start right here and right now. You can start right here and right now, and then continue forward, whatever it is we say that we really want in our lives. It's never too late. So I'm inviting you to really look at, what is it that you want? What are you willing to do to get the things that you want? What are you willing to do to have the things that you want? Are you willing to change? Are you willing to grow? And for those of you who have been doing the visioning with us, in community visioning, or doing life's purpose visioning with us, or just doing visioning on your own as a part of your spiritual practice, that I repeat all the time, that visioning is a process of personal transformation. So how those questions that come up, whether they come up in the community visioning or life's purpose visioning, or whatever it is you're visioning for, the questions of, what must I become? The question, what must I become? The answers that you're getting to that question. What have you been doing with those answers? How have you changed? Because in the becoming question, the question is, what must I change? How must I grow? What answers have you gotten for those? How have you changed? How have you grown? How have you been willing to change? How have you been willing to grow? These are all questions that we have to live in as we set our intent to move forward into the new year. As we set our intent to move forward into the new year. As we set our intent to move forward into the new year, it is so important for us to continue to ask these questions. What do I need to release? What answers have come up for you, and what do I need to release? And even if you haven't been visioning, ask yourself that now. What do you need to release? What do you need to let go so that you can move forward freely in your life? What has been hindering you? What has been blocking you? What does it take for you to thrive? Not just survive, but to thrive. What does it take for you to really take off in your life? What does it take for you to have a successful life, the successful life that you want? What do you have to let go so that you can have that life? What do I need to embrace? What do you need to embrace so that you can have the life that you want? What do you need to take on? What do you need to really start to bring more of into your life? What do you need to let go so that there are no blocks there, so that you can bring more of what you really want into your life, so that you can experience more of what you want? This is what intent is all about. When you are intent on having, as I said earlier, about having perfect health, then what do you need to let go in order to have good health? What do you need to let go in order to have good health? What do you need to embrace in order to have good health? What do you need to embrace in order to have that health that you say that you want? Or what do you need to embrace to have that perfect career that you say that you want? Or whatever it is. So the seminal question is, what do you really want? And I invite you to visit that question, to live in that question over and over and over again, because it informs everything else that we do. Because when you get clear about what it is you really want, then you can it's like a roadmap. It kind of shows us the way. If we get off track, if we turn off on a side road, if we pull off to the shoulders, or whatever it is we do when we're going down this road of life, if we are not acting consistently with what we want, then we've gotten off track. But if we are aware of what it is we really want, then we can say, oh, that's out of alignment, and then get right back on path, get right back on track, get right back on track. You know, there's a key to success and a key to failure. There's a key to peace and a key to misery. There's a key to love and a key to hate. And it's all the same key, and we hold the key to all of it. It's the same key. There's a key to prosperity and a key to lack. And we hold that key because it's the same key. And we hold that key by knowing what it is we want and whether or not we're acting consistently with what it is we want, whether or not we're using the principles and practices of the science of mind, whether or not we're taking the classes that we need to take, whether or not we are really engaging in our spiritual practice, whether or not we really believe what we say we believe. And this is what I started the year off with when I talked about belief, because our theme for the year has been the magic of belief. And so I dare to believe. And so just really looking at, where are you? Where are you in your life right now? Where are you in moving forward? Where are you as we come to the end of this year? Where are you? And what is your intent for moving forward? Do you want to move forward with ease? Do you want to move forward with grace? Do you want to move forward with successful living? Do you want to move forward with an open heart? Do you want to move forward in a way that that frees you up to be all that you were created to be? Do you want to live full out? Do you want to live full out? Do you want to have a life that is filled with abundance and prosperity and love and joy and peace and harmony and all the blessings, all the gifts of the Spirit? Do you really want those things? And if so, what are you doing now? What are you doing now? Can you be that place and space through which those things reveal themselves? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to go that extra step? Are you willing to take that extra, to make that extra? It doesn't have to be effort, but if it feels like effort to you, are you willing to make the effort to change? Are you willing to make the effort to do something different? Are you willing to make the effort to change your mindset about things, to look at at life differently, to look at people differently? Are you willing to let go of those things that don't serve you? Are you willing to change your environment? Are you willing to change the people that you hang out with? Are you willing to do any of those things, to hang out with different people? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? Whatever it takes to have the life that you'd like to live, to have the life that you desire, to have the things that you really, really, really want. But before you can answer any of those questions, you got to know, what do you really want? What do you really want? And then set your intent to have that thing, whatever it is that you say that you really want, to set your intent to be that, to do that, to have that. And I'm inviting you today to really begin to look at these questions, look at this question, and look at the questions that follow as we go into this end of this year. Because when the new year comes, we start to think of a new beginning, and it is a new beginning. Well, every day is a new beginning, but we start to think of the new year as a new beginning. And so then we start to say, well, this year I'm going to do, this year I'm going to do, this year I'm not going to, whatever the case may be. And then before you know it, it's March already. And then before you know it, it's the 4th of July already. And then before you know it, it's Labor Day. And you're thinking that, oh, I'm behind the 8 ball because I haven't gotten these things done. I haven't done. So if we don't want to do that, let's live prospectively. Let's look right now at, what do you want going into this new year? What do you want going into this day? What do you want going into this day? We don't have to wait until January. What do you want going into this day for the rest of your life? What do you really want? What do you really want? And are you willing to do the things that it takes to have what it is you really want? Are you willing to experience what you really want? Are you willing to experience it? Because, we can say we want one thing, but fear can hold us back. Doubt can hold us back. Anything that requires us to break through that glass ceiling, that upper limit, that we've talked before about the upper limit problem, that when we run into a place we've never gotten before, we get to that upper limit, and then we come back down and decide, well, that's too much to ask for. That's too much to want. That's too much to desire. That's out of my league. I've gotten too old. It's been too long. I don't know enough. All kinds of excuses start to come up. But the question is, what do you really want? There is no limit. There is no limit. There is no limit. No matter what's going on, there's no limit. And so when we start to recognize that there are infinite possibilities, no matter what we haven't done in the past, doesn't matter. We can start right now. Everything has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and then a new beginning. Everything, every situation, there's always a beginning, a middle, and an end, and then there's a new beginning. And so here we are, and just look at each day. Each day there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and then there's a new beginning because there's a new day. And so in our lives, that's the way life is, that in our lives, there's always more possibilities. There's always more, just more and more and more. And so when we live in the question, what do I really want? Then we're opening ourselves up to so many possibilities. We're opening ourselves up to so many possibilities. And it doesn't matter that you haven't done it, as I said, in the past. It doesn't matter that it hasn't happened before. It can start right now. My mother used to always say that so long as we have breath in your body, there's possibility for anything to happen. So I'm saying to you, so long as we have breath in our bodies, there's a possibility for everything to happen. And so I'm inviting you to be excited about this time. Yes, there are a lot of things going on. Yes, there are a lot of things that appear to be limitations, but I'm inviting you to burst through the idea of limitation, burst through those limitations. Burst through those limitations with your willingness to have what it is you want, your willingness to experience what it is you want, your willingness to set your intention and let your intent be that cause that you set in motion so that you can have the effects, which is what you want to experience. That cause you set in motion with your intention to bring the effects that we want to experience. And so I'm inviting you, what do you really want? Now is the time to make that determination. Now is the time to really look at that. Now is the time to be open and receptive to it being revealed to and through you. Because it may be that you don't know what you really want. And if you don't know, that's the time to do your spiritual practice. That's the time to do your meditation. That's the time to do your spiritual mind treatment. That's the time to take classes. That's the time to do whatever the case may be. That's the time to do the reading or the journaling or whatever your spiritual practice is, to deepen in that. Now's the time to go really, really deep. Now's the time to go really, really deep and determine, what do I really want? What do I really want? I thought I wanted this, but I now discover I don't really want that. I thought I wanted a new relationship. I thought I wanted this job. I thought I wanted whatever the case may be, some material thing. And then you realize, no, that didn't get it. That didn't work. So what do you really want? It's time to go within. It's time to go within and ask that question. I'm hearing a song from the Agape Choir. When I searched outside myself, confusion was all I found. Now I've learned to look within, and I'm standing on solid ground. When I searched outside myself, confusion was all I found. Now I've learned to look within, and I'm standing on solid ground. Yes, I'm standing on solid ground. Because whatever we're looking for, if we're searching outside ourselves, confusion is what we're going to find. Confusion is what we're going to find, because the answer lies within each one of us. The answer lies within each one of us. Because that knower within each one of us, that divine intelligence within each one of us knows exactly how it wants to show up in and through and as our lives. And so when we start to really get clear about what is it that I want, then we know to turn within. We know to turn within and not search outside looking for. Turn within. The song goes on, from inside out is how I live. My life is a place where God can give. Rain or shine, joy abounds. I'm standing on solid ground. When I searched outside myself, confusion is all I found. So let's turn within. Let's turn within as we live in that question, what do I really want? Let's turn within and allow it to be revealed through us, because the question really is, how does God want to show up as me? That's what the question really is. How does God want to show up as me? How does God want to show up as me? How does God want to show up this day as me? And the only way we can make that determination is to turn within and allow God to reveal itself in and through and as each one of us. Let God reveal itself in and through you as your very life. That's how we get that question, what do I really want, answered. It really means, what does God want to show up like today as me? What does God want to show up like today as me? And what must I release? What must I let go? What must I embrace so that God can show up as me? So that there's no hindrance, so that there's no block. From inside out is how I live. My life is a place where God can give. Rain or shine, joy abounds. I'm standing on solid ground. And so anytime we are turning within, anytime we're looking within, anytime we're living from the inside out, we're standing on solid ground. We're standing on solid ground. And we can stand on solid ground and set our intention from that place. Set our intention from that place to live our very best lives. Set our intention from that place to be all that we were created to be. Set our intention from that place to have the best year possible as we move forward into this 2022. And it doesn't matter what's happening out there. Yes, there are events going on out there. Yes, there are things that are troublesome out there to us. They're not troublesome to God. They're troublesome to us. There are things that we have to be cautious of. There are things that we have to be mindful of, because we do live in this world of facts. We do live in this world of humankind. And as humans, as spiritual beings having human experiences, but as living in this human incarnation, there are certain things that we have to be aware of, certain things that we have to be concerned about, certain things that we have to do that we have as we move forward, as we live on this planet, certain things that have to be taken care of. And we know that that's not the truth of our being. We know that that's not the truth of our being. So when we live from inside out, we are walking through this human path, knowing that we are guided and we are directed and we are shown the way every step of the way, every moment of each and every day. And as we do that, we keep walking forward in faith. We keep walking forward in trust. We keep walking forward in love. We keep walking forward in light. We keep walking forward in God, because that's the only way we can do it, is to walk forward in God. And when we when we set our intent to do that, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. We can have our very best lives. We can have the lives that we want. We can be that place in space through which God can just express all over the place. And that's what we want. Just allowing God to express itself, to show out as each one of us, according to our own individuality, according to our own uniqueness. That's what we really want. That's what we really want. So just start to ask that question. Start to live in that question. Start to be willing to allow the answer to that question to be revealed in and through and as you each and every moment of each and every day. And so I invite you, when you're writing when you're writing down your goals, or when you're writing down whatever, as the song says, whatever it is you're writing, let it come off the page into your heart. Let it come off the page into your heart. Because all of it really is about being unconditional love. All of it is about being unconditional love, being that place and space through which unconditional love can be expressed, being that place and space through which God can express itself, and God is always expressing itself as unconditional love. And so when we really start to ask the question, what do I really want? Then we may, we may answer that in specifics according to our own uniqueness, according to our own individual lives, but it really is the same answer. It's about unconditional love. It's about showing up as what we were created to be. We were created to be those places and spaces through which God's love can be expressed. That's our whole purpose for being here, to be vehicles for God's love to be expressed. And so how can that be expressed through me? And when I'm asking the question, what do I really want? That's the question that we're asking. How can I be? What do I really want? How can it be expressed through me, this unconditional love that is God's love that I'm here to express? How can that purpose be expressed through me? And so I'm inviting you to live in the question. There are a lot of questions that I brought up today, deliberately. What do I really want? What do I really believe? What am I willing to let go? What am I willing to embrace? What am I willing to embody? Am I really, really willing to live these principles and practices of the science of mind, of religious science, the ones that I talk about, the ones that I say I believe in? Am I really willing to live in oneness? Am I really willing to live in oneness? Am I really willing to be, to act like I know that I'm made in the image and likeness and out of God itself? Am I willing to know that if I change my thinking, I can change my life? Am I willing to do that? Am I willing to live that? And I think that's the question that all those questions come up when we start to ask, what do I really want? What do I really want? And everything that we want, we have available to us through this teaching that we have right here, right now. We have it available to us right now, just following the teachings, following the practices, learning more about the teachings, living the teachings more, using the principles, using the practices, using the tools that we have. It's so important, because that's how we get what we really want. And that is to live in oneness with the all that is. And so I invite you, live in the question and know that God is the answer. God is the answer. God is the answer. Let's take a breath and turn within. Just moving into that place of just knowing that God is the answer. Just moving into that place of knowing and sensing and feeling the answer right here, right now, right where I am. Knowing that it lives and moves and has its being in me, this answer that I choose to call God. I know that I live and I move and I have my being in it, that there is no separation, can be no separation. But this allness and this fullness that is God is my very life. And it is the life of each of us here this day. It's the life of each of us. It is the source of our being. It is that from which we can never be separate. It's that from which we can never depart. because it is our very life. I know that I am made in the image and in the likeness and out of pure spirit itself. There's nothing that can change that. There's nothing that can separate that from me. There's nothing that can separate me from that I choose to call God. And so it is from this place of awareness that I speak the word for us this day. Just knowing that each of us is in the question, what do I really want? And that God is the answer, not only to this question, but to all questions. God is the answer to everything. God is the solution to everything. And so as we walk through this time, I know that each of us walks with peace and with ease and with grace and with love and with light and with possibilities as we release and let go of those things that don't serve and create a space for all the qualities of God, create a space for healing to happen in each and every life. This is what I'm knowing for each one of us, that we release and let go of those things that don't serve and create a space for the healing, for the wholeness to reveal itself in each and every life. And I'm speaking the word for those who have lost loved ones and those who have heavy hearts and broken hearts this day, just knowing that the healing presence of God, the comforting presence of God is right where each person is, right here, right now. Just blessing and keeping and lifting up and loving each one. For those who are experiencing pain in the body temple or discomfort or dis-ease of any kind in the body temple, I know that every organ, cell, tissue function of the body is responding to the healing presence of God. And that healing presence is moving in and through each one, each one, each one right here and right now. This word goes out to those across this country who have been affected by the tornadoes and the weather patterns that have gone through, just knowing that God is in the midst of everything that's going on. God is in the midst of everything. Even though there's apparent devastation, even though there's apparent destruction, God is in the midst of it all. God is in the midst of it all, lifting up those communities, lifting up those people, keeping them safe and keeping them protected, providing shelter and comfort. And whatever it is they may need, God is in the midst of it all. Even in this apparent dark time, God is in the midst of it all. And this is the same truth that I know for each one on this planet, that God is in the midst of every situation, every circumstance, every event, that there's not a spot where God is not. This is what I know to be true. And so in this moment, I pause right now momentarily so that you may speak the names of anyone you'd like held in prayer. You may speak their name silently or aloud, and you may speak them now. And so for all those whose names were spoken here this day, I know that right where each of them is, God is blessing and keeping them. That God is the answer to everything, every situation, every circumstance. God is the answer. This word goes out to anyone on this planet needing a prayer this day, knowing that right where each one is, God is, and that all indeed is well. And so I simply say, thank you, Father, Mother God, for the healing that is happening. Thank you, Father, Mother God, for the love that is established. Thank you, Father, Mother God, for the light that transcends the darkness. Thank you, Father, Mother God, for everything. I know indeed that all is well, for I know indeed that all is God. I simply allow it to be now. And so it is.